Don't shrink yourself just to get someone's attention. You don't need to beg. You don't need to wait around hoping they'll turn back and look at you one more time. If they truly valued you, they would have never made you feel small. They would have never made you question your worth in the first place. Maybe you gave too much. So much that now you feel drained, empty, exhausted from carrying a love that was never reciprocated. You once made them the center of your world. And when they left, all that remained was silence, a void. But pause for a second. Reflect. It wasn't them who took your power, it was you who handed it over. So let me ask you, gently but truthfully, why don't you see that you too deserve to be loved, to be respected? Why are you pouring your heart, your time, your energy into someone who doesn't even put you first? Here's the truth. They're not the important one. You made them important, because when you don't respect yourself, how can anyone else learn to? Stop. Right now. Take your power back. Don't lower yourself for a few seconds of attention from someone who was never worthy of you to begin with. You are not a beggar for affection. You are not a backup plan. You are a person of worth, deserving to be remembered, respected, and treated with dignity. Starting today, you are no longer the one who chases. You are the one whose absence is felt, the one they regret ever underestimating. This isn't revenge, it's self-remembrance, a sacred reminder you are not someone to be overlooked. And if you're truly ready to reclaim your value, to rise into your highest self, then say this out loud, right now: I deserve better. Don't just say it, believe it, live it. Drop it in the comments, not for me, but as a commitment to yourself. Now, we step into the most powerful part of your transformation. 11 psychological tactics. Not to manipulate, but to magnetize, to help you become the kind of person people can't look away from. These aren't cheap tricks. This is deep insight into human behavior, so that others naturally recognize your worth. No chasing, no proving, no begging, just you, fully aligned, fully whole. Before we dive in, if this message hit home, hit subscribe and tap the bell. Don't miss what's coming next on this Stoic-inspired journey. If this helped, leave a 1 in the comments. If it didn't resonate, leave a 2 point. I value honesty, always. And remember this, you never have to chase again. Be like a rare, beautiful flower, quiet, unbothered, yet impossible to ignore. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So think deeply, live with dignity, and you'll become unforgettable. Ready? Let's dive into the first tactic and step into the version of you that you were always meant to be. Tip number 1, the power of silent withdrawal. If you truly want someone to remember you, step away, but not with anger, not with blame. Step away, in silence. This isn't a trick. It's not manipulation. It's the purest form of power, because for far too long, you've waited. Waited for a text that never came. Waited for attention that was always just out of reach. Waited for proof that you mattered. And while you waited, they played with your heart like it was optional, as if you were something they could reach for when bored, and drop the moment they were full. But that's not who you are. You're not a backup plan. You're not a convenience. You are not a puppet tugged by strings of inconsistency. So now, you pull back, not loudly, not with a final message or a dramatic exit, just quietly. Gone, Imagine background music playing softly all day, so constant it blends into silence. People forget it's even there, until suddenly it stops. And the silence? It's loud, it's uncomfortable, it's haunting. That's what your absence becomes. When you stop texting, when you stop checking in, when you stop being always available. At first, they might not notice, but soon, a void opens, curiosity creeps in, then confusion, and finally, desire. Not because you chased, not because you begged, but because you disappeared, without explanation. In a world addicted to instant replies where attention is cheap and overused, your silence becomes gold. Silent withdrawal breaks the cycle. It shifts the balance. It makes them pause. It makes them wonder, why the silence? Did I do something wrong? Why aren't they reaching out anymore? That discomfort, that mystery, it's not a punishment, it's power, because people don't value what's always there. They value what they fear losing. And when you step away, not in anger, but in dignity, you become something they can't stop thinking about. Maybe it was your laughter, maybe it was the way you listened, or just the steady warmth of knowing you were always there. And now they feel it. The quiet, the cold, the loss. You've become rare, magnetic, irreplaceable. You didn't yell, you didn't explain. You simply withdrew. And that says more than any words ever could. Because when you were always present, you became background noise. But now you're the silence that echoes. They start checking your socials, rereading old messages, wondering, did I lose them? Are they with someone else? Why do I miss them now? They rewind the memories, searching for the moment the shift began. Not because you're still there, but because you're not. You've created an emotional gap. And humans are wired to fill it. But remember this, silent withdrawal isn't forever. It's a pause, a sacred reclaiming of your energy, a moment to center yourself in peace, in clarity, in self-worth. And if you choose to return, you won't return as someone who waits. You return as someone who is earned. Like a pendulum pulled back, your absence builds momentum. When you return, it's on your terms. Because now they've tasted what it's like to lose you. This isn't cruelty. It's not about hurting them. It's about loving yourself enough to say, I'm not someone you keep on standby. I'm someone you cherish or you lose. Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And when you pull back, you're not playing games. You're choosing thoughts that protect your soul. You're choosing peace over confusion, self-respect over sacrifice, truth over desperation. You're no longer begging to be seen. You've become the silence they can't stop hearing, because you were once like a shadow, always there, always comforting, always loyal. And then, one day, you weren't. And now? Now they feel it. The absence, the weight, the ache. And still, you haven't said a word. But your silence, it screams. So, right now, make a promise to yourself. Type this in the comments. I know my worth. Not as a slogan, not for show, but as a declaration. Say it, believe it, become it. Because once you know your value, the world has no choice but to recognize it too. You're not the one who waits anymore. You're not the one giving endlessly. You're the one who, even in absence, leaves a presence they can't forget. And this is just the beginning. Tip number 2, planting a seed of doubt. If you want to live rent-free in someone's mind, you don't need to shout. You don't need to beg for their attention. You just need to do something far more powerful. You plant a seed of doubt, not chaos, not manipulation, not deception, but curiosity. A question mark, so subtle it almost floats in the air when you leave the room. You see, when people think they've figured you out, when they believe they've got you, wrapped up in certainty, with no more layers left to discover, that's when their attention fades. That's when their effort shrinks. Because people crave control, and once they feel they've secured you, they stop working to deserve you. But the moment you introduce just a touch of uncertainty, just a whisper that says, "I'm not fully yours. I have choices. I have a life you don't fully know," something shifts. They start to wonder. They start to notice. They start to feel. This isn't about being cold or withholding love. It's about preserving your mystery, about showing that you are not a given. You are not the sun that rises predictably every morning. You are the moon, appearing in phases, sometimes full, sometimes hidden, but always powerful, always drawing tides. Here's the truth. When your attention is always available, when your affection is always guaranteed, it starts to feel expected. But the moment you step back, even slightly, they feel the shift and they lean in. You don't need to manufacture jealousy. You don't need to parade admirers. You just need subtlety. Imagine this. You're in a conversation, light-hearted, smiling, confident, and then, without overthinking it, you drop a line like, "Had coffee with some old friends yesterday, met someone new, said I had amazing taste in books." Then you move on, effortlessly, unbothered. But in their mind, a ripple begins. Who was that person? Did they say that in a flirty way? Did you like them back? They won't ask, but they'll wonder. And now you're on their mind long after the conversation ends. Because mystery leaves footprints, and uncertainty, it makes people look twice. Suddenly they're questioning what they once felt sure about. Am I the only one they're really interested in? Have I been showing up for them the way I should? And just like that, you've shifted the dynamic. Now they are investing. They are trying harder. They are working to earn what they once took for granted. Because you're no longer just there. You're not just waiting to be chosen. You are someone they could lose. And the idea of that, it terrifies them. You don't have to lie. You don't have to pretend to be someone else. You just have to show up as someone who knows their worth. Someone who doesn't over-explain. Someone who doesn't chase. Someone who knows your time, your heart, your presence must be earned. Let them feel the absence of your energy. Let them notice when you stop giving freely. That's not punishment, it's balance. Because you are not here to be taken lightly. You are not here to be someone's backup plan. You are not the easy option. You are the valuable one. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And when you plant a seed of doubt in someone's mind, you're introducing a new color into their world. A streak of curiosity, a hint of insecurity, a surge of desire. They won't even realize it at first. They'll just feel it, that ache, that need to reach for you, that quiet pull of wanting to be sure they still have you. So let this be your reminder. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to demand to be seen. You withdraw slightly. You speak intentionally. You create space. And in that space, they realize how much you mattered all along. Say it now, out loud or in the comments. Declare it for yourself. I am valuable. No one gets to take me for granted. Because this is not a game. It's not about punishment or pride. It's about self-respect. You are reminding them gently but firmly, I'm someone others would also appreciate, and if you won't, someone else will. This subtle shift? It's not manipulation, it's empowerment. It's you standing in your truth and saying, I'm not afraid to be pursued because I'm worth it. And the most beautiful part? You won't need to say a word. They'll just feel it, that quiet fear of losing you. So next time you feel yourself over-giving, over-explaining, overstaying, come back to this truth. You were not made to be overlooked. You are the kind of presence that lingers. You are the kind of soul people remember, miss, and fight to keep. Say it now, with your whole heart, I am worth pursuing. And if they don't see that, let them feel the silence. Because you're not here to be chosen. You are the one they can't forget. Stick with me. This is just the beginning. Next, we're going even deeper into the art of emotional connection, so that once you're in their mind, you'll stay there forever. Tip number 3, the illusion of intimacy, close enough to touch, just out of reach. If you truly want to stay in someone's heart, let them feel like they know you, even if they've only ever touched the surface. This is called the illusion of intimacy. It's not manipulation. It's not emotional trickery. It's a delicate art, the art of revealing just enough of your truth to stir their soul, while still keeping the deepest parts of you tucked away. Maybe you share a story from your childhood, a moment that changed the way you see the world. Something small, honest, personal. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be heavy. It just needs to be real, intimate, and in that moment, they feel chosen. Like they were allowed into a sacred room inside you that no one else has seen. And that lingers, because humans crave connection. We want to feel close. We long to be trusted, to be the one someone opens up to, and when you gift them a glimpse of your inner world, when your voice softens, your eyes hold meaning, your words carry weight, they remember. Later, in the silence of night, or in the middle of an ordinary day, they replay that moment. They feel it again, and they start to believe. Maybe this connection is different. Maybe I matter to them in a way others don't. But here's the key. You don't give it all away. You show them a single window, but you never unlock the whole house. You let them see the light, but you don't hand over the map. Because mystery is magnetic. When they think they've almost figured you out, but not quite. It awakens something deep inside, curiosity. They want more stories, more moments, more you. But the more they reach, the more they realize they only ever had a part of you. And that's what makes them obsess. You become a song they can't stop humming, a scent they can't quite place, a memory that feels both warm and incomplete. You don't need to overshare to be unforgettable. You just need to leave behind an emotional trace, a feeling that lingers long after you've left the room. You become the thought they return to when the world around them goes quiet. Because what you offered wasn't performance. It was presence. It was truth wrapped in silence. And that is rare. So now I want you to speak this truth over your life. Type it in the comments. I am unforgettable. Not because you shout, not because you demand attention, but because your presence whispers something too real to forget. You know how to touch someone's soul. And then, just when they lean in, you step gently back. And that balance, that dance of closeness and mystery, that's your power. You're becoming someone they can't ignore, not because you gave it all away, but because you gave just enough, to make them feel something real, and then you disappeared into the quiet again. You're not here to be consumed. You're not here to be solved. You're here to be felt. And now they're left wondering, who are they really? What else haven't they told me? How did just one moment with them leave me thinking this much? That's the spell of the illusion of intimacy. And this is only the next step in your transformation, because next we'll unlock the rhythm of push and pull, a timeless, powerful flow that holds their attention without ever chasing it. Stay with me. You're not just learning how to be noticed. You're becoming unforgettable. Tip number 4, the push and pull, the art of holding attention without chasing. If you want to become someone they can't stop thinking about, someone whose presence lingers in their mind long after the moment ends, you need to master one of the oldest, most powerful dynamics in human connection: push and pull. Now, let's be clear. This is not about manipulation. This isn't a cheap game of hot and cold. It's not about confusion or cruelty. It's about creating balance. A rhythm, a kind of emotional dance that keeps the energy alive and the connection real. Because the truth is, when you give too much, too fast, too often, you don't become more appreciated. You become predictable. And predictability, over time, becomes background noise. But when you learn the art of push and pull, you hold their attention without chasing it. Here's how it works. You begin with the pull. You show up, fully present, warm, open, engaged. You give them that moment of real connection, that feeling that they've captured your attention. And for a second, the world narrowed down to just them. And in that moment, they feel it. They feel seen. They feel chosen. Then you shift, not cold, not distant, just less available. You reply a little slower. You leave a message on read just a bit longer. You let them miss you, and in that pause, that space, they begin to reach. Did I say something wrong? Why haven't they responded yet? Are they losing interest? And suddenly, they're replaying every moment. They're craving the connection you once gave so freely. They're working to earn it back. Why? Because humans crave what they can't fully predict. We chase what feels slightly out of reach. We value what doesn't come too easily. Push and pull works, not because it confuses them, but because it awakens their desire. It makes them aware of your value, and it reminds them you're not here to be taken for granted. Let's pause right there, because here's what's important. Don't use this to punish. Don't do it to create anxiety or fear. This is not about ego, it's about alignment. You're not doing this to manipulate how they feel. You're doing it to protect how you feel, to make sure your heart is being met with effort, not just assumption. Because when you're always available, always quick to reply, always the first to initiate, you become routine, and routine doesn't stir the soul. But when your energy flows like a tide, sometimes close, sometimes calm, sometimes just out of reach, you become unforgettable. You make them feel lucky when they have your time, not entitled to it. And that is the difference between being kept and being chosen. So, here's what I want you to say right now. Drop it in the comments or whisper it to yourself. I am worth chasing. Not because you need someone to run after you, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you finally understand. You are not here to chase. You are someone who brings value, presence, warmth, depth. And anyone who wants that from you has to show up for it. Because your energy is not a free sample. Your heart is not a product on display. Your time is not for people who don't cherish it. Let them wonder. Let them lean in. Let them work to keep you. That's not cruelty. That's your new standard. So remember, the pull is your openness, your light, your kindness. The push is your boundaries, your silence, your standards. Together, they create a rhythm they can't resist. Stick with me, because next, we're going even deeper into the art of attraction and how to use subtle emotional signals to stay on their mind, even when you're not around. But for now, hold your ground. Keep your pace and let them feel what it's like to want more of you. Tip number 5. Mixed signals when uncertainty becomes irresistible. Let's talk about one of the most powerful, most misunderstood forces in attraction: mixed signals. Now I know, that phrase gets a bad rap. It sounds like games, like confusion, like manipulation. But when used intentionally, with honesty, with emotional awareness, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes magnetic. Because here's the contradiction in human psychology. We say we want clarity, but we're endlessly drawn to the uncertain. We crave the mystery, the chase, the feeling that there's still more to discover, because when someone is too easy to figure out, we stop wondering. And when we stop wondering, we stop wanting. But when someone can't quite pin you down, when your emotional rhythm shifts just enough to keep them on their toes, that's when the mind kicks into overdrive. Why are they quieter today? Did I do something wrong? What are they thinking right now? And just like that, you're in their head, looping, lingering. That's where mixed signals come in. Not through lies, not through manipulation, but through contrast. One moment, you're warm, present, engaged. Your energy wraps around them like a blanket. You see them. You make them feel like they matter. That's the hook. Then you shift, not cold, but quieter. Not distant, but less predictable. You leave a little more space. You pull your energy inward. And now they feel it. That absence of warmth, that change in rhythm, it disorients them. And it pulls them in deeper. Their thoughts start circling. Did I lose something? Was I imagining the connection? How do I get that feeling back? They overthink. They replay moments. They reach for you because now you feel slightly out of reach. And this is where the true power lives. You become a mental loop they can't close. A question they can't answer. A feeling they can't shake. Because when you're warm, they feel safe. When you go quiet, they miss that safety. And the brain becomes addicted to restoring that emotional high. It's an emotional roller coaster, and they won't even realize they bought the ticket. But hear this clearly. This is not about punishment. You're not here to make someone insecure. You're not here to hurt. You're here to be real. Because real people are not always predictable. They have layers. They shift. They feel. They don't perform affection on demand. And when someone realizes they can't fully predict you, that your affection comes from choice, not obligation, they begin to work harder, to listen closer, to value your presence more deeply. You become someone they want to understand, someone they want to impress, someone they want to keep close, not because you asked them to, but because the uncertainty has made you unforgettable. So say this now, drop it in the comments or feel it in your chest. I am a mystery. Not because you're hiding, not because you're guarded, but because you no longer feel the need to explain yourself to be loved. You are magnetic, not because you're loud, but because you leave room to be felt, not fully grasped. Your soul isn't a story that fits on one page. It's a novel that unfolds slowly, beautifully. You don't owe anyone immediate access to your heart. You don't need to rush your truth to earn someone's approval, because mystery doesn't mean you're fake. It means you're full of nuance, of depth, of layers they haven't earned the right to see yet. And when they realize that, when they sense that unpredictability in your energy, that's when the desire sets in. That's when they become addicted to the possibility of you. So remember, you don't need to be completely understood to be completely loved. You don't need to be an open book to be unforgettable. You just need to let them wonder, let them work, let them feel that not everything about you is available for free. Because the people who truly value you will lean in, will stay curious, will want to know more, and that's the beginning of true emotional desire. Now take a breath, because we're only getting started. Up next, we're diving even deeper into the psychology of attraction, so you don't just leave an impression, you become their mental obsession. Tip number 6, the illusion of need. When you need them, but don't depend on them. If you really want to hold someone's attention, not just for a moment but over time, you have to master something subtle, something soft but undeniably powerful. It's called the illusion of need. Now, hear me out. This isn't manipulation. It's not about pretending. It's about creating a delicate emotional contrast. A balance between inviting someone in and reminding them you'll stand strong with or without them. Because let's be honest, we all want to feel needed. We want to feel special. We want to believe that we matter to someone else's world. But the moment someone feels like you can't live without them, that your happiness, your peace, your emotional survival is in their hands, you lose your power. You lose your presence, and often they lose respect. So instead, let them feel your vulnerability without ever handing over your emotional independence. It might sound like this: it's been a stressful week, but I'm doing my best to stay grounded. Simple, honest, human. But there's no collapse, no emotional weight placed on their shoulders, just a soft invitation into your world, a glimpse into your heart. And when you do that, when you show a moment of openness without falling apart, they feel something beautiful. I'm important to them. They trust me. I'm the one they share this with. And that's wildly attractive. Because now they believe I'm playing a unique role in their life. I'm someone they chose to open up to. But here's the key. You never let them feel like they're the only thing holding you up. You never make them think they're the reason you're okay. You are still whole, still grounded, still you. And that, more than your vulnerability, is what makes them want to stay. Because people are drawn to strength, to depth, to that rare, quiet confidence that says, I care about you, I open up to you, but I don't need you to carry me. That illusion, the sense that you're open but untouchable, that you care deeply, but you're still centered, that they matter, but they don't define you. It keeps them hooked. It makes them think, am I truly that important to them? Do they need me, or did they choose me? And that question, that uncertainty, it's what makes them invest, what makes them stay, what makes them obsess. Because the most desirable people are those who can let you in without ever losing themselves. So say it with me now. Say it with your chest. I am strong on my own. Because your softness might pull them closer, but it's your strength that earns their respect. And it's the illusion of need, this graceful dance between depth and independence, that keeps you unforgettable. Stick with me, because what comes next is even more powerful. Tip number 7. Spark subtle competition. Let them see you're valued by others. There's something buried deep in the human psyche, an instinct so old, so primal, so quietly powerful, that when triggered, it changes everything. It's the instinct to compete. You see, one of the most effective ways to become unforgettable in someone's eyes, to live in their thoughts, to make them feel a sense of urgency about you, is to gently, subtly spark this feeling. Not with jealousy, not with games, but with something far more artful, a soft, simple reminder that others have noticed your worth. Because when they feel like they're the only one with access to you, they may begin to relax, to assume, to take that access for granted. But when they sense, even faintly, that you're admired by others, that someone else might see what they see, it lights a quiet fire under them. And you don't have to do much. You don't need to name names or make anyone feel insecure. You just say something like, "An old friend once told me they really admired how consistent I am. It actually meant a lot to feel seen like that." That's it. No drama, no show, but it drops something dangerously effective into the silence. A question. Who admired you before? Am I showing you that kind of appreciation? Could I lose you to someone else? And just like that, they stop coasting. They start watching. They lean in, because they've just been reminded, you are not a given. You are not easily replaced. You are someone others would gladly pursue. And now, you feel more valuable in their eyes. Not because you demanded it, but because they felt it. They felt the reality. If I don't see your worth, someone else will. And that simple, gentle truth is enough to shift the entire dynamic. It awakens their desire to earn their place, to fight for you, to stop assuming you'll always be there, and start appreciating that you are. So here's your affirmation for today. Say it out loud, write it in the comments, own it with confidence. I am worth fighting for. Because you've been appreciated, you are being noticed. And your presence is not for those who sleep on your value, it's for those who recognize it. Pursue it, protect it, stick with me, because in the next tip, we'll explore how to create emotional depth so potent. It doesn't just leave an impression, it creates a bond they'll never want to break. Tip number 8, limited access. When rarity becomes power. In a world that moves fast, where people give their attention away like it costs nothing, there's one thing that instantly sets you apart. Rarity. When something is always available, it starts to blend into the background, expected, assumed, and slowly taken for granted. But when you begin to limit access to your time, your energy, your presence, you stop being ordinary. You become a privilege. This isn't about being cold. It's not about playing games. It's about owning your worth. Because when you give yourself too easily, they stop trying. But when you become just a little harder to reach, they start to value every second they get with you. Picture this. They text you, "Wanna hang this weekend?" And instead of dropping everything, hoping to be available, you reply with a smile, "I've got a few plans already, but I might be free Sunday evening." Do you feel that shift? In one calm sentence you've said, "I have a life, I have a rhythm, I have priorities, and you're not the center of it." You've shown them, without needing to say it directly, "My time is earned, not expected." And now, their thoughts begin to stir. What are they doing this weekend? Who are they seeing? Why am I not automatically included? Curiosity grows, and in the space where certainty used to live, desire is born. You see, when you limit access, strategically and gently, Every moment they do get with you becomes meaningful. It's no longer casual. It's not a given. It's a gift. That's when they begin to plan around you, to prioritize you, to work harder to earn your attention. Because it's no longer free. This is not ego. This is value awareness. It's the understanding that your energy deserves respect, not just convenience. So claim this truth right now. Say it to yourself. Drop it in the comments. Own it. I am worth waiting for. Because anything rare is treasured, and anything too easy is taken for granted. So give your presence, yes, but give it with intention. And every time you show up, let it be felt. Stay close, because the next technique is about using silence to stir anticipation and create the kind of emotional pull they can't resist. Tip number 9, slow replies when silence becomes power. We live in a world of instant everything. Instant food, instant likes, instant replies. But you are not instant. You are intentional. That's why one of the most subtle, powerful tools in your emotional arsenal is silence. Not ghosting, not avoidance. Just slowing down. Because every time you don't respond right away, every time you pause before replying, you're sending a clear, calm message without saying a word. I do not exist for immediate consumption. I move to the rhythm of my life, not the pace of someone else's expectations. And that energy, it's magnetic. Let's say they text you. They say something cute or flirty, or maybe they're just checking in. And you don't rush to answer. You leave it. You take your time, not out of spite. But because your peace matters more than your phone, your reality is not defined by digital urgency. And in that tiny pocket of silence, their mind begins to race. Where are they? What are they doing? Why haven't they responded? Did I say something wrong? Are they losing interest? Suddenly they're rereading the last message, checking if you've been online, refreshing their notifications. And you're living rent-free in their mind, without lifting a finger. That's the power of not being instantly accessible. You are training them gently to respect your time, to wait for your energy, to work for your attention. And here's what's beautiful: when you finally do reply, your words carry more weight. Your message lands differently, because now there's value in it. So say it now. Own this truth. Write it down. Speak it out loud. I am in control. You don't chase. You don't prove. You pace yourself. Because your presence isn't cheap. Your time isn't reactive. And your attention, it's sacred. They don't get it on demand. They get it when it's genuine, and that's what makes it unforgettable. Stay with me, because next we'll explore how to leave emotional fingerprints on their heart. So even in your absence, you're still with them. Tip number 10, heighten the doubt when uncertainty fuels desire. We live in a world that praises clarity. People say they want to know where they stand. They ask for certainty, reassurance, definition. But here's the hidden truth most won't say out loud. It's doubt, not certainty, that often makes someone obsess. Not the kind of doubt that creates fear, but the kind that whispers just beneath the surface. I don't fully have them. They're not mine, not entirely. They have a life beyond me. That subtle, lingering uncertainty, it's like oxygen to desire. Because what we can't fully hold on to, we chase. So how do you use this? Ethically, elegantly, without games. You don't need to spark jealousy. You don't need to bring up other people. You simply let them feel that your life is bigger than them. Try something soft, effortless, like, this week's been packed, meeting up with some friends and trying to stay on top of deadlines. You're not showing off, you're just living. And in one sentence, you've reminded them, you're not sitting around, waiting. You're not always available, you're in motion. And suddenly, their thoughts start to stir. Who are these friends? What are they doing without me? Am I still their priority? They lean in. They try harder. They crave you more. Because when someone realizes you don't belong to them, when they sense they have to earn their place in your world, you stop being a guarantee and you become a gift. This is the power of healthy doubt, not the kind that creates distance, but the kind that creates desire. So write this down, speak it aloud, ground yourself in it. I am unforgettable. Because you don't need to chase, you don't need to convince. Your energy lingers, because it's not given too easily. And the more they realize they don't fully have you, the more they'll work to never lose you. Stay with me, because next, we're not just holding attention, we're stepping into their future. Tip number 11, future hooks. When you gently place yourself in what's to come. Desire lives in the future. We don't just crave what's here. We're drawn to what's coming next. The weekend, the vacation, the next chapter, the possibility of something more. And when it comes to attraction, one of the most subtle yet devastatingly effective techniques is to gently plant yourself in someone's future, without pressure, without asking, without needing. Just a nudge, a whisper, a picture painted with soft suggestion. That's the magic of future hooks. It might sound like this. That cafe looks amazing. We should check it out sometime. Or, that movie coming out next month? I want to see your reaction to the twist. Simple, casual, light, but so powerful. Because in that moment, you're not just part of their present. You've slipped quietly into their tomorrow, and what happens next is something beautiful. They start imagining. They start seeing you in moments that haven't even happened yet. They attach your presence to their upcoming joy, their curiosity, their excitement. And now, you're in their emotional calendar. You're linked to what they're looking forward to. You're no longer just a connection, you're a constant. They'll think of you when they pass that restaurant. They'll remember you when they see that movie trailer. They'll start saving a seat for you in the moments they haven't even lived yet. And the best part? You never had to ask for space in their life. You just let their mind make room for you on its own. This is the art of emotional imprinting, and it's how you shift from being memorable to irreplaceable. So claim it now, let it sink in. Speak it into your reality. I am worth looking forward to. Because you are not just a fleeting moment. You're the spark they want to carry into tomorrow. You're not just a memory, you're a future feeling they can't wait to experience again. And that's how you become more than desired. You become anticipated. The silent withdrawal isn't just a psychological tactic. In my eyes, it's a declaration of self-worth. I used to think that if I were kind enough, patient enough, always available and always present, they would see me, they would appreciate me, they would choose me. But here's what I've learned through experience, not theory. Too much presence dims your value. You become background noise, predictable, constant, assumed, and people tend to forget what's always there until it's not. That's when silence becomes powerful. That's when the absence speaks louder than any word ever could. When you withdraw in silence, you don't vanish. You echo. You don't slam the door. You leave it open, but empty. And in that quiet, they're left with something they can't ignore, their own feelings, their own regrets, their own realizations. This isn't about punishment. It's not revenge. It's not a cold game of make them miss me. It's something deeper. It's how I say, without raising my voice, I'm no longer waiting to be remembered. I've become someone they'll never forget. Because in a world that thrives on noise, speed, and constant access, rarity becomes value. And when you pull back, intentionally, not emotionally, you don't disappear. You create an emotional imprint. A silence so specific, they feel you in it. There's no anger, no blame, just space. Space for them to feel the weight of your absence, to realize what it meant to have your presence without earning it. The most profound thing I've learned, I don't need to be loud to be remembered. I don't need to over-explain. I don't need to beg to be chosen, because silence, when rooted in self-respect and inner strength, is the most magnetic force of all. I no longer want to be the one who's always there. I want to be the one they're afraid to lose, because not everyone deserves my energy. Not everyone should have access to me whenever they want. And the ones who truly value me, they'll feel it, they'll know it, especially when I'm gone. So now when I withdraw, it's not a retreat from them, it's a return to me. Because sometimes the quietest move you make is the one they'll remember forever. Final affirmation. To seal this mindset. I am a part of their future. Write that in the comments below. Not just as words, but as a promise to yourself. A promise that you are not just a passing moment. You are an image, a memory, a deep connection. They'll carry with them for days, weeks, maybe even months or years. You now hold 11 powerful psychological strategies, not to manipulate, but to reclaim your space in any relationship, with dignity, grace, and magnetic presence. This is not about playing games, it's about mastering the art of presence, a way of living that ensures you stay in someone's mind long after you've left the room. Now, it's your turn to bring these truths into action. If you're ready to, step fully into your power, attract naturally and sustainably. Without chasing, start right here with the very first affirmation. I am unforgettable. Write it, believe it, live it. And if this spoke to something deep inside you, like the video, subscribe to Stoic Station, and share it with anyone who needs the reminder that they are worthy. They deserve to be seen, pursued, and remembered. Stay with me, because there's still so much more for us to master together. The art of attraction, the art of connection, and above all, the art of living with power and dignity. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.